Today we are answering Google's most frequently asked questions about skateboarding. Not only that, just like every other video, we are simultaneously out skateboarding today and having a lot of fun, but instead of getting a lot of so-so tricks just to kind of fill up the video, I'm gonna be focusing on getting 3 solid tricks that I can use for Instagram. Tricks that are hard for me and that I have to work for, and that's today's goal, those 2 missions. Okay, so let's knock out a few questions first and start off by typing in the word skateboard. The first question is, how much does it cost for a good skateboard? It's so weird that these questions are so asked because they've been answered so many times. It's likely that you find a board from $150 to about $200. Nowadays, you can find completes that might be $20 or so cheaper, but realistically, hard goods are really expensive for skate shops to buy, so you're not gonna find that much of a better price because you would literally be paying less money than the skate shop paid for the board itself. Not as good of a shot, but better with the wind. Number 2, the question is, what is the best brand of skateboard? Well, there is no best brand of skateboard. It's completely subjective, and a lot of companies actually use the same distribution, so a lot of the board companies that a lot of people argue over actually use the same wood, so it's technically the same exact skateboard, just a different print on the bottom. What is the best skateboard for a beginner? Any skateboard you get at the beginning will be completely new to you, so you won't know what good or bad is. It becomes preference, so you test out any board at the beginning that you think looks cool. You want to stare at the board and be happy with the board, and then as you play with that, you get another board, and when you have those 2 boards, then you start figuring out what your preference is. Just buy a board that you think looks cool, as long as it's not from Walmart or Target. Try to buy it from an online skate shop or an actual skate shop. And I think that's a good segue to a little bit of skateboarding. Flip tricks are weird because for me it's kind of a cop-out because that's what I grew up doing, but other people seem to like flip tricks more, so it kind of works out. But I do have one more trick there I think I can do, but first I want to go on Google and type in skateboarding and see the most asked questions about that. Real quick, just have to mention that the new 4th Rider for Progress Daily video has just gone up. Link is in the description down below. But yes, I went to Texas and I welcomed one of my favorite skateboarders of all time. That video is now available. Anyways, continue the video. The first question under skateboarding is skateboarding a good workout? I think the benefits of skateboarding are similar to jogging. It's really good cardio, but it's also bad for your knees. In fact, the first injury I ever had was wear and tear on my knee, and it was called runner's knee. But you do sweat a lot, you're moving a lot. It's really, really good cardio. So if you're trying to stay fit and healthy, it's really good for you. Is skateboarding dangerous? Now, this completely depends on how you skateboard. It depends what kind of person you are. I would say for any beginner, yes, it is a little bit. I think people are a little too enthusiastic when they jump on a skateboard and they kind of go for it. And that's usually where the most injuries come, is right at the beginning of skateboarding. I always advise people just take it slow and don't be afraid to look silly. Hold on to some bars while you're skating so you don't fall right away. Have somebody else guide you and help you. Getting hurt has obvious issues, but I think the biggest thing is demotivation. It makes you not want to skate anymore if you get hurt right away. I feel like a lot of times the people who become really good skaters are people who can sort of maintain at the beginning, go about a year or so, and if they get injured, they're already too far into it to ever turn back. How much does a pro skateboarder make a year? Now, I feel like this is a whole video on itself, but again, it's just too varied to know. It totally depends on what company you ride for. There are pro skaters who literally probably make less than $400 a month. Soft goods sponsors, clothing, shoes, etc. pay a lot more than hard goods sponsors, which is decks, trucks, wheels. A lot of people say this, but don't get into skateboarding if your #1 goal is getting rich. Nowadays, with creativity being so high in demand, you can build an audience for yourself and you can leverage that audience to make a lot of money. There are obvious exceptions, like people who have their own shoe for Nike, but that doesn't necessarily pertain to skill level alone. There's a lot of people who ride and get paid a lot of money for companies like Nike Nike and Adidas, who are nowhere near the best skateboarders at all. They, just like any other company, hire people who think will market their company the best. So that could just have to do with the way that somebody looks. So it's kind of like fashion where there's a lot of flaws. So that's why I always recommend building your own platform, creating your own YouTube channel, building up your own social media following, because it's a shallow industry and you should be able to control your own destiny. Let's go ahead and try the second trick. I've never done that trick that solid, I guess, even though it wasn't even that solid, but I gotta answer the next two questions, and then after that we're gonna go to the second skate park to try to get one more trick. I say these two questions, one because I had to look it up, and the second one because I could make 10 videos on the answer, but this one is, how much does a Zoomies skateboard cost? Zoomies is the same price as everywhere else. They pay just as much for hard goods, so the same price that I said earlier is the same price that affects it, probably somewhere from $150 to $220. What are the benefits of skateboarding? The reason is because I could go on and on and on about the benefits, but I'm trying to condense it down into a few sentences. The main benefits for skateboarding, at least for me, is a way to utilize the world for different purposes than what you think it's for. Let's say you have a curb at a building by your house that you've seen a million times growing up, and there's only really one purpose. You park the car in front of the curb, get out, walk up it, go in the store. With skateboarding, there is an infinite amount of options. You can grind the curb, go up it, go down it, and you can invent a million plus ways of how to utilize that curb. So something that was ordinary becomes extraordinary. It becomes an imagination palette. From there, you can decide to film it. But how do you film it? Well, there's a million different options. And then you go to edit, and there's a million different options. To me, skateboarding was the trigger that inspired a lot of creative thought in my life. Every single day that I skateboard, it requires me to dig deep into my creativity and figure out how to do the trick, what trick to try, etc. That has literally led to my career today, and in the future, everything that can be automated will. So creativity will be humans' last frontier. Skateboarding set me up perfectly to be someone who knows how to be creative on command. The benefit is the never-ending journey that I've been on, the never-ending expansion that is the world of skateboarding, and then seeing the world around me change in so many different ways where it's my playground. The entire city, every state, every area, everywhere is my skate park. There are other things out there that can actually reap the same benefits. I think illustration is something like that. I think parkour is kind of like that. It doesn't have to be skateboarding, but it is truly a gift to find something that gives the same benefits. So skateboarding, I would recommend to everyone in the world. Anyways, let's go to Thomas Green Skate Park and try to knock out this last trick. Maybe two tricks, we'll see. that I get to post on Instagram. So hyped. I love getting into the nitty gritty and spending a lot of time on one trick, but it doesn't really make for the greatest of content. I like getting a lot of tricks for you guys that I can do really quickly, but today was all about the grind, I guess. But thank you so much for watching. And also, if you want a new fun skateboarding video to watch, I just uploaded the Progress Daily video, as you know, but thank you for checking out this video. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I am doing a new video on this channel, and then every Wednesday, I'm uploading to the Progress Daily channel, but I am skateboarding a ton now because the weather is finally permitted. I lasted the entire winter in New York, which is insane, but I am so ready to skateboard here right now. I'm really stoked. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time for another video, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the way, humans, Progress Daily, and keep going.